We continued our research, and this time we focused on patients suffering from diabetic foot ulceration. We started with rather small groups, 20 patients in the Granulox group, 20 patients in the control group. Look at the healing results. After 28 weeks, we assessed the total healings. You see on this diagram the number of patients who experienced full wound healing over time. The steeper the curve increases, the faster and the more patients develop a full wound closure. If you compare now the results after 29 weeks, you see that 15 out of 20%, which means 75% in the Granulox group developed a full wound closure compared to only 6 patients in the control group. This translates perfectly well into the average wound size reduction. 4 weeks after Granulox treatment, the Granulox group had a significant reduction in average wound size by 63%. And this continues to a total of 95% over the entire subset of patients. You see again how fast the wound size could be reduced with Granulox. And then we double-checked another parameter, and that was the slough coverage. As a standard parameter that needs to be filled in the case report forms, we asked for the slough coverage of the wound. You know, all these fibrinous layers, these frozen exudate, these sometimes very sticky material that need to be removed meticulously in a process of wound healing. And surprisingly, we saw that the Granulox group was slough-free after just 4 weeks. Look at the graphs. And the slough did not return except for 1 patient who refused to continue with the Granulox treatment. So when we noticed it for the first time, we couldn't explain why that happened and further elucidated the question in following studies. I'll get back on this. And another thing took us by surprise. All patients were standardized, asked for their subjective level of pain using the McGill index. You know, this visual analog scale from 0, I feel absolutely fine, to 10, wow, I can't even stand the pain. And when we started the studies, both groups were on par regarding the pain sensation. And a couple of weeks later, the Granulox group gave the protocol that the pain sensation had significantly lowered, almost down to 0, whilst the other group still had a significant and very high pain level. And this is what all patients report, that they say very soon after being given Granulox, I feel better. The pain reduces and I improve my quality of life as I can find sleep overnight. Some of you have been asked why this effect could be explained. And to be honest, we do not know 100% precisely. Further research is requested to assess this quite fascinating aspect. But we have a very solid hypothesis. And this hypothesis is that nervous fibers are hypersensitive in a hypoxic condition. You'll find many publications showing that a nervous fiber in a hypoxic condition tends to fire his excitation potential to the brain, fire his signal of, wow, I'm sensing some pain, much earlier than a nervous fiber in a normal condition. And this could explain why adding an additional amount of oxygen to chronic wounds helps to bring down the pain level, as these hypersensitive nerves are brought back to a normal level in which they do not fire continuously any pain signals to the brain, but only in those cases where it's absolutely necessary. But as mentioned, further research needs to be done to have solid evidence data on that.